With that, we are all ready to go. So, of course, here we are. It's the 2014 eBudde refresher. So let's just see what some of the great new additions are to our eBudde system. All right, so if you haven't noticed, for those of you that have tried to get into eBudde this year, we have a new temporary password that we need to use, and it's 570 Samoas, exclamation point, exclamation point. And once you put that in, we're going to see that screen here in a few minutes. It's going to prompt you to go in and reset your password. The one thing I didn't realize is that for every year now, evidently it's something with the security and the firewall and all this other good stuff, that every year they're going to send us out a new default password, and then we're going to have to go in and reset our passwords. So maybe it's a good thing, especially, if you've got different people that are kind of in and out using your troop or whatever. So anyway, that'll be something that we'll have to look forward to next year. And like I said, the new to us this year is that our eBudde is actually going to be behind Kellogg's firewall. For those of you who don't know Little Brownie Baker, who is our baker, they are actually a subsidiary of Kellogg. And so with that, when they did this new update to eBudde, they've been able to put them behind the Kellogg firewall. They've got ongoing security scans, and it's just to make it safer for everybody. One of the other things, it kind of annoys me, but I guess it's a new way to update the security again, is that they have a user timeout policy. And so, when you go in and if you don't stay active in the system, it's going to have a little box that pops up that says, ooh, are you still active? If not, it's going to kick you out of the system, and then you have to re-enter your login information. Oh, I've got a great question already. Username still your email address? Yes, great question. You'll go in, still use your same email address, and then the 570 Samoas with the exclamation point, exclamation point. Now, if you've gone in and you've tried using the 570 Samoas, I know we've had some hiccups, and so I've gone in and reset with a temporary password that'll work for 24 hours so that you can go in and reset. So if it doesn't work with the 570 Samoas, shoot me an email at bernies@gsmw.org, and I can go in there and get that reset for you. So great question. Thanks, Lisa. All right, so last year, they did the password reset on the login page. So say that you forgot your password or whatever, they still have that. You can go in, click on there. The only thing that's going to be different this year is when you go to do that is it's going to start asking you your security questions and whatnot. And we're going to get to those here in a couple more slides. The one thing, and it's like they always have that little meter there that says it's a really weak password, it's kind of okay, ooh, this is a really good one. Well, it's going to do the same thing for you when you go in to reset your password. So they kind of came up with these little stipulations that passwords must be 8 characters long, they must have at least 1 capital letter, and they must have at least 1 non-alphabetical character. And then, of course, like I said, the strength meter is going to let you know how you're doing. So if you've gone in and already done it, you guys should be good to go. New this year that has kind of gotten a few of our volunteers frustrated is the login attempt, to where after you've tried 5 times to get in, it'll come up and it'll say your login attempt has failed 5 times in a row. Your account is now temporarily disabled. I guess it's kind of a good thing if somebody, is trying to get into your eBudde account. Maybe you had a disgruntled volunteer, co-leader, whatever. And so they disable it for you. And then you can go ahead, and then do where it says, say you maybe put in the wrong email address or whatever, it's going to say, invalid login. Verify that you entered the correct email address and password. So every once in a while, I too get that little prompt, and then I'm like, oh boy, I got to make sure I get it right, or they'll lock me out. That would be maybe not so bad if I got locked out for 10 minutes. All right, so next, this is where you're going to be able to set up your password. And of course, like I said, here's where you're going to put in, it's going to say weak, strong, whatever. And then it's also going to prompt you to answer these security questions. And so, yes, capital S in the Samoas. Great question. Great question. It's going to ask you, so when you're going in and, they're going to say, if you're trying to find your password, they're going to ask you all of these different security questions. Because what's nice is there's a couple different ways this year to be able to go in and recover your password. So the first one would be, where you put in your email address and then you go down, and hit the forgot your password. Success, a new password was emailed to you at, or you can go ahead, enter your email address, and then click to load your security questions. Then once you answer the questions correctly, it's going to let you go ahead then and just put in a password, confirm it, boom, and then hit submit, and then it's going to take you right back to the login page. So there's a couple different ways that you can do it. One of the other nice things is for service units, and this was kind of new last year, and I've seen a couple names on there, so I know we've got a couple service unit managers joining us this evening. And if you go in under the contact tab, and this is for the service unit managers only, you can actually go in, and when you click on edit, this screen is going to come up, and then you can put in, you don't really, the current password wouldn't be there if you were in, say for a troop leader or whatever. It would just say new password, confirm new password. Then you can go in, and this is like a great example would be the night before the orders are due, and a leader is just in a panic because she can't remember her password. She's tried doing the temporary thing. It's not letting her in. You can come in, give her that temporary 24-hour password, send it off to her. She can go in, reset her password, and then get her order in. Say that maybe you're the service unit manager and you are having a hard time remembering what you reset your password to. Then you can just go in right under the current password, put it in like I love cookies 2 or whatever, and then put in your new password. I know there are people that they like to change their passwords quite often. If you might happen to be one of those individuals, even if you're a troop leader, you can do exactly the same thing. You can go in, click on the contact tab, go down to the edit button, and then you can change your password if you want to update it that way. I always encourage everybody as well. There's that great help symbol at the top on the nice blue line. If you ever get into a problem, maybe it's on a weekend and I'm not getting back to you on your emails quickly enough or whatever, go to the help button, because it generally, if you're having the same problem, somebody else has probably had the same problem as well. And so that way then you can go in, you can access it, you can find out just exactly what it is that you need help with. If they don't have an answer for you, send an email to me. I tell everybody all the time, at this time of the year, email is probably the best way to reach me. My calls get kind of backlogged. And so, shoot me an email, thebernies@gsmw.org. Okay, so last year, they came up and they had the great where you could go in and, you could indicate whether you want to receive an email, if you want to be the primary contact person, all of that good stuff. Well, for those of you, if you're a service unit manager, of course, when you go in, you can, that's on the settings tab. Here's where you're going to be able to update all of the information. Maybe you had a change in a troop leader or whatever, or maybe you're the troop leader and you want to add in a new cookie mom. All you need to do is go in. Once you click on that edit settings, you just scroll down a little bit. You're going to see here where you want to do the email and then the first name and the last name. Maybe you've got, you know, the former cookie person or whatever. Their information is going to be just right above where that field is at. And so all you need to do, there's going to be a little box and it'll just say remove. All you have to do is click on that. It's going to put a little check mark in there for you, and then it'll remove the old information. You can come down here and you can put in whatever information you need to do. So again, make sure you go in and update all of that information as well. So like we did last year, you guys are kind of getting used to it. We will be importing all of the girls. We've been moving them since about the middle of December. And so we've been trying to keep up with that. Make sure, if you haven't gone in yet, to make sure that all of your girls that are in there are listed properly. If you're missing somebody, we need to know right away, because then that way if we've got to start tracking down a registration or maybe they're in a different troop, we need to find them and get them moved in there for you. Also, like they did last year, they're not going to, it's going to lock, eBudde's going to lock you out. It's not going to let you exceed more girls than what you've got on your order tab. So it works out really well. They want to make sure that everything balances out. And of course, great thing again this year, you can go ahead, they've got that great add payment button for the girl payments, so you can make sure that you go in, get those payments added to them as well. All right, so here is, and I'm sure all of you have taken a look at this as well. Here are your girl tabs. It'll show you just exactly the girl's name, their GSUSA ID number, their grade, and of course then for their that they're registered. I will say that this year, last year you were able to import or export, pardon me, from the Cookie Club into eBudde all of the girls' login and ID information. The two are not talking this year. They decided that it was probably not the safest thing to have those come across. And so if you want to put the Cookie Club login in there, that's something that will have to be manually entered. Again this year, because everybody really liked having the girl tab where we had all of the varieties of the cookies, that will be the same again this year, so that way you guys are able, pardon me, to track your inventory and everything else. Also, you'll notice this year, because we've got both the Council Gift of Caring and the Troop Gift of Caring. So on the left-hand side is where you're going to see the CGOC for the Council Gift of Caring. If you place an order in under that Council Gift of Caring in that column, your troop will get credit for it. The girl also is going to get credit for it, but you will not need to remove those cookies or have them in your existing inventory. They're just going to kind of be cookies up in the cloud, and then when cookie season's over with, we'll look at how many of those Council Gift of Caring boxes we've sold, and our Council Gift of Caring is Cookies for Cancer. Once we've figured out exactly how many we need to distribute, then we will order those cookies and we will take care of the distribution for you. So anything that goes in the CGOC column, you're getting credit for it, but it's not going to come out of your inventory. On the flip side, on the right-hand side, you've got the Troop Gift of Caring, or the TGOC. Any cookies that are listed in there, eBudde is going to automatically take those out of your inventory. And so say that at the end when you're getting ready to place your initial order, maybe you have 56 boxes of your troop gift of caring, but you've only got 46 additional cookies that are from where it rounds up. And so it's not going to let you submit that order because you're still 10 boxes short of what you need to fulfill all of your orders. So just like it did last year, it's not going to let you order your cookies unless everything balances out. So, and if you get questions, if you have questions, I guess I should say, on the gift of caring, whether it's the council or the troop, and you're confused, please just let me know, and I'll be happy to answer those for you. And of course, last year they put in those great add a transaction and add a payment tabs for you. What I like is with that add a transaction, you know, that field opens up down at the bottom. So maybe a girl in between the time that the pre-sale order went in and the cookies came, you know, maybe somebody she'd left a message for because they were out of town on holiday or whatever, they called back and they're like, oh my, yes, I want Girl Scout cookies. And so then you could do down at the bottom, you know, in that open field, you could do, you know, just type in additional cookies or whatever. And then of course, fill in the fields for, you know, what was ordered. Same thing for booth sales. A lot of, you know, times the leaders forget, oh my gosh, I didn't get my booth sale patches. You have to remember to get those booth sales into the system for the girls. So make sure, because when we're pulling those reports about how many booth sale patches we're sending out, it's got to be registered in the system so that eBudde recognizes that, yes, she did do booth sales. And also remember, too, when you're putting those booth sale cookies in, make sure that where the paid column is, that, so say the girl sold 20 boxes, that was her allotment when you did the booth sale. Make sure that then you put $80 in the paid box. Because if you don't, then all it's going to do is show that she sold 20 additional boxes of cookies. And when you go to let her parents know just exactly how much they owe, that $80 is going to pop up. Same way, you know, when you're putting in the add a payment, it's a great tool to use because maybe you meet once a week and you're encouraging parents to turn in money as they go along, so that, you know, they're not bringing all this money to you at the very last meeting and you're trying to receipt out all this money with all these different parents. That way then you can keep adding those payments, and of course then it's just taken off what the girl will ultimately owe at the end. Okay, so let's get into the girl rewards. Just like last year, it's not going to let you submit that that great reward order unless you put in the shipping address. And if you do put in a P.O. box, it's not going to accept it. So you need to remember that when you're in there and you're putting in, whether it's the pre-sale or the final girl rewards, sorry, I can't say incentives, make sure that you fill this out. And what's really nice, because a lot of times people will say, oh my gosh, they get worried about, you know, when the rewards are coming and whatnot. And then they'll say, oh my gosh, where did I have them shipped to? It's going to show you right there. It's always going to be under that girl reward tab. It says incentive on this screen, but actually now this year it'll say girl rewards. And so you'll be able to go in and say, oh, yes, thank heavens, I've got them coming to the right address. And again, we've got the, you know, for the girl rewards, it's going to automatically calculate everything for you just like it did last year. It's going to prompt you if they need to make a selection or a size or whatever. Same as it was last year, it's just going to come right in. It's going to prompt you as to who the girls are that you need to do that with. Okay, so we don't have any questions on ordering or girls or anything like that. You guys are doing great. I love it. All right, so the deposit tab. Again, the deposit tab is going to be shut off. And for those of you that, you know, are seasoned veterans, you know The only reason that we do that is so that we can make sure that the deposits that go in are going to match what's on our statements that we get from the bank. You know, we've got like 35, 40 depository accounts, and so our auditors like it when everything balances, and as does Sally, our CEO. So we'll be able to go ahead. We'll keep putting those deposits in for you. You guys do a great job of either scanning them and emailing them to me or dropping them in the mail, whichever works best for you. You know, just keep it coming. Again, if you're a leader or if you're a service unit manager, make sure that always on the deposit ticket itself that we have the service unit either number or name and the troop number. Every year we've got to go back because somebody's lost a receipt or whatever, and we've got to go with the bank and try and find it. And as long as it's completely identifiable with the service unit and the troop number, it just makes it that much easier for Therese. So always make sure that you've got that on there. If you're a troop leader and you can't remember the account, the depository account number from last year, your service unit manager should have that. If not, give me a call, shoot me an email. We'll make sure that we get that to you. If you want to be ahead of the game, you can get a hold of Therese, and she would love to send you as many deposit slips as you would like. And to make it even easier, she has some great endorsement stamps too, so you don't have to sit and handwrite on the back of each one of your checks. Again, best practices. I know you guys have heard me say this over and over again. Make sure that you put the cash in your troop account and you put the checks into our depository account. That way, if you've got a problem with a check, you know, bouncing or whatever, then we're the ones that are going to be taking care of it right up front. It's a lot less hassle than, you know, you happen to turn around and say, oh my gosh, this check bounced, doing the paperwork and whatnot, and then, you know, happen to send it to us, and then Therese start the whole process. So, you know, always best practices, cash in your account, checks in our account. Always, too, make sure that you ask the bank for that additional receipt so that you've got one copy for you and one copy for me. You know, it does happen that the post office brings me a shredded envelope and there's deposit tickets in there, and, you know, we can't read them. Something happens. Maybe, and I didn't realize, but your email came to me and it went into my junk folder or whatever. Always hang on to everything so that you've got a backup, and then that way you can put it in your year-end financials and it works out great. So there's our little deposit tab talk. And of course, always, and I don't know if any of you have ever used this, you know, eBudde has a great demo site. And believe it or not, I use it every year because it's like putting in girl rewards. You know, you do it once a year, and so then you kind of forget. You remember the easy way to do it, but then when we get the tricky things like the packages and the ethers or the ors, you know, so the demo site is great. Encourage, especially if your service unit manager is on the call, encourage your new leaders to go in and kind of play around in that demo site. As always, here's our contact information. You know, the first person you should always contact, without a doubt, is your great community development manager. You know, they're sharp women, they know what they're doing, and usually they'll have an answer for you. If they don't have one, they're probably going to give me a call. So always make sure, try giving them a holler first. And if not, you know, a lot of you, we email back and forth all the time, or you give me a call, whatever. So, of course, again, there's my information, bernies@gsmw.org. And if you've got any type of an accounting question, always get a hold of Therese. You know, she works with spreadsheets all day long, so she loves visiting with you, the volunteers. So give her a call. Let her know if you want a credit card swiper. let her know if you want some more deposit slips or if you need an endorsement stamp. Maybe you've got a problem with a delinquent balance or whatever. Always make sure you touch base with her, because anything in the financial realm, she is definitely the go-to guru on that. And of course, there's our wonderful council phone number, the 1-800-736-5243. All right, does anybody have any questions whatsoever? You guys are being such a great audience tonight. Really? No questions? Are y'all still able to hear me? Hey, Desiree, yay. Okay, at least I know Desiree's on, so I know that somebody's there. So Desiree is our great community development manager. She works out of the Casper office and does that great southwest kind of corridor of Wyoming. She's a great new addition to our team, and we're just so happy to have her, and God bless her. She has been on every one of my webinars, and it's just so wonderful because it's like she's just it's like I know somebody's out there with me. So thanks, Desiree. Does anybody else have any questions? Well, if not, if you think of some, you guys know where to find me. Oh, hang on, I've got one. Yes, it must be my friend Lynn Zimmerman from up on the north side of Montana. When we log in, our password has to be 8 characters. Yes. I'm sorry, Lynn. I sat there and had to figure out just exactly what I was going to put in there. So I just ended up, I put in, I love cookies 1. And, you know, and then they make you change them all the time in all these different places. And I'm an old lady. Sometimes I can't remember all these passwords. I'm having to start writing them down. But yes, Lynn, it has to be 8 characters. Great question. Any other questions? Deanna, you're being awful quiet tonight. I saw your name float across there. Let's see, here's another good one. I have a parent that prefers to collect payment ahead of time. Oh, naughty. If she collects checks, yes. Anytime, great question. Anytime anybody gives you any kind of money, receipt it out and get it in the bank right away. I can't tell you how many stories I've heard of, oh my gosh, I had it in the envelope and I put it in the sock drawer to keep it safe until the end, and then it was gone. And so, yes, as soon as you get any kind of money, please make sure that you put it, you get it into the bank, because it's just a great way to safeguard yourself and, of course, most importantly, your troops. So, you know, we don't like it when parents take money up front, but you know, make sure if you get the money, get it in the bank right away. Great question. Are the dates accurate in the handbook? Okay, which dates are you referring to? I know there's been a couple little discrepancies from when we printed the handbook and then when things have gotten put into the system. The sale is from February 1st until February 17th. And then we want to make sure that that the orders get placed. Ideally, we want to make sure all the leaders have got their orders into the service units so that they can be double checking everything and tracking things down. I would love to have all of the service unit orders placed by Friday. I think so that's 17, 18, 19. Is it the 21st? I don't have my calendar right in front of me because my computer is kind of blocking it, but yes, the 21st. Ideally, I would love to have the order placed on the 24th so that we can make sure that we meet that Delivery starts on March 11th and ends on March 20th. And then the booth sales, depending on when you get your cookies, they'll either start on the 15th of March if you're in that first week of delivery, or they'll start on the 22nd. Booth sales will end on Palm Sunday, which is actually April 13th. And then, of course, money's due to the troops on the 14th. And then, if you can start getting stuff into your service unit, like around the 17th, 18th, and then that way they can get it into us the following week. The thing that's so important about getting all of that kind of tied up is all of that coincides with when I place the final girl reward order. So, the sooner we can get stuff in, the better off we are. My Daisy Troop leader is collecting ahead of time. Should they not do this? No, it's really not a good practice, but like I said, I mean, we can't police everybody, and I know some leaders would just rather have it up front and then it's all over and done with. But, please, if they do, encourage them, get those orders, get that money right away into the bank. Great question, Lynn. Yes, we only have 6 cookies this year. We're really excited when we were chosen to be one of the few councils that Little Brownie is doing a pilot program. It's called the Super 6. And so this year we are selling all of our favorite varieties except for the Thank You Berry Munches and the Dulce de Leches. I know Deanna's killing me because she's got people that love the Dulces. They're like 1 or 2% of our entire sale. And, we sell over 1 million boxes of cookies every year. So as you can tell, that's a real small, minute portion of it. And so we're hoping it's going to be great. It should be good for inventory control and everything else. So yes, great question, Lynn. We're just doing 6 boxes. That is really a big problem when money is collected when ordering. I've had bad experiences from leaders and parents because of this. Great comment, Val. Yes, and on my end of things, if you knew how many phone calls I get every year, I paid that little girl right up front, and I can't remember what cookies I ordered. My check's been cashed, and I don't have any cookies. And then with that, then I have to go and find out where they live, get cookies to them, apologize profusely. And the bad thing is, this person is calling into the council. I have no record whatsoever if they really did. How do I know that they're not snowing me and, telling me that they should have gotten these cookies, and then, they're getting, 8 free boxes of cookies or whatever. So great comment, Val. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I love it. Lisa's telling me I still have Thank You Very Munches. So obviously, when your Thank You Very Munches rounded up, they were not big sellers at the booth sale. Thanks for that comment. Lynn is, get them from another council, Deanna. I did talk, Deanna, in all seriousness, I did say something to my wonderful friend Kelly Ronning at Little Brownie, and she said, if they really love them in Riverton, I can see about getting them in. Yes, Deanna, you are the 2%, seriously. I know you do that with the lemonades, you little stinkers. And my favorite ABC cookie is the Thanks a Lot, the really great shortbread with the chocolate on the bottom. So Deanna, if you're scoring the lemonades, you should be hooking me up with some of the thank yous, because I love those Thanks a Lots, okay? I could really be using them up here. Any other questions? You guys are great. I love it. Thanks, Deanna. Any other questions, guys? These are good ones and great comments too. So I really appreciate that, because it helps, when you've got, like Val, who's been a long-standing service unit manager. You know, she's been on the line before, so she knows exactly what we're talking about. So great comments, great questions, guys. Anything else at all? Well, if not, I am going to stop our great recording. I'm going to wish all of you a wonderful evening and a very successful 2014 cookie program. Again, if you need me, you know where to find me. And I thank you so much for your time tonight. And most importantly, all the hundreds of hours that you spend to bring Girl Scouts into your communities. And I really appreciate that. So have a great